In order to complete our Italian pasta sauce, we're going to need 2 packs of blade, 3 packs of fresh lean ground beef, 2 packs of pork back ribs, 1 pack of sausages, an onion and some garlic, 2 eggs, breadcrumbs, parsley, some vegetable oil, some table salt, a glass of water, 2 cans of tomato paste, 5 cans of already spiced tomatoes, and 6 cans of V8. Let's not forget our cooking ware. So you're gonna need 1 large platter, a cutting board and a large knife, a large spoon, a large fork, a pasta drainer, a large bowl. Let's not forget our 2 packs of pasta, a large pot, a medium-sized pot, and a frying pan. Now we're gonna start with adding our 3rd pack of lean ground veal into the bowl. Now that the ground veal is in, we're going to add 2 eggs, half a cup of oil. Now we're going to mix everything all together. First, we're going to start with adding about a pinch of salt, then a generous amount of our dehydrated parsley flakes, and about half of our breadcrumbs container. Now we are rolling up our veal into balls to make meatballs the old-fashioned Italian way. So you roll it, and then we're gonna place it on the platter. This is what the meatballs look like before they're cooked. This is the first step. You add a touch of oil, and then you're going to put your stove top on low. Next, you're going to start adding all your veal balls into the frying pan. While the veal balls are cooking, we're going to move on to our process of cutting our blade. Now we are going on to step 2, which is going to be starting the sauce. So we're going to cut up our onion and start cutting up our blade into small squares. Now we are cutting our onion into small pieces, which will be going into the pot where we are going to be making our sauce. While preparing our blade, let's not forget to check on the meatballs so they do not burn. So you're going to want to turn them once you see that the bottom is turning brown. This is what the onions should look like when you're finished dicing them. They smell nice and fresh. Now we are going to open up our 2 packs of blade and start taking them out to put them into our sauce. Now we took out our 4 pieces of blade, and now we're going to start cutting them into cubes. And this is what it looks like. This is what the blade and onion should look like once they are done being cut. Let's not forget about our meatballs once again. So as you can see, we start turning them over once they turn golden brown. Here, this is turning them over. Now we're going to start preparing our pot for the sauce. We're going to add a very big, generous portion of oil. We are going to warm up our pot and add in the onions and let them fry before we add in our blade meat. Now we notice that our onion is frying, so we're going to add in just a touch of garlic, and the blade is on the way. Now we're going to start putting in our blade. So he's taking it from the cutting board into the pot, and this is what it looks like. Three pieces left. And this is what it looks like. So let's not forget to check up on our meatballs. So we have to turn them before they burn. So they're going to come out a golden brownish color. And if they were still pinkish, that means they are not fully cooked. Now we're going to keep turning our blade because we want it to cook and not to stick at the bottom of the pan. This is what the blade looks like once it starts frying. You see it's turning like a golden brown, and that when it's fully brown, it means that it's fully cooked. because you should not see any more red. Again, let's not forget about our meatballs and to check on them, because if you do not check on them too often, then they are going to burn and they're not going to be good. Now while we're waiting for the blade to cook and for the meatballs to fry, we are going to start with our sauce. So we're going to start opening our 5 cans of ready spiced diced tomatoes. This is what the 5 cans of ready spiced diced tomato looks like. Now we are going to add all 5 of our cans into the sauce. So here's 1, 2, 3. Let's not forget about our meatballs that we're gonna have to turn. So now we are going to mix the tomatoes and the blade together as we are preparing the sauce to add our meatballs to it. Now we are going to start adding some of our meatballs into the sauce to make one big sauce. Next, we are going to open our 2 cans of tomato paste and prepare the rest of our meats, such as the pack of sausages and the 2 packs of baby back ribs. Once all our meatballs added, we're going to mix everything together, such as the tomatoes, the blade, and the meatballs. We're going to mix. Now we're going to cut the sausage and pre-fry them to add them to the sauce. So we're going to start frying them, and once they are fried, we're going to add them to our sauce. We are going to also add our baby back pork ribs into the same frying pan so they could start frying as well, so we could add them into our sauce. Don't forget to keep mixing your sauce, and soon we are going to be adding the tomato paste to the sauce, and then we have to let it cook for about 2 hours. Don't forget to check on your sausages and ribs, which only have to cook for a bit, because then we're going to add them into the sauce. As you can see, the sauce is starting to boil, so we are going to add our 2 cans of tomato paste. There's 1 can. And here is the other can. Now we are going to rinse our 2 cans of tomato paste with 6 cans of V8, and then we are going to add that into the sauce and mix it all together. So here we are throwing in the V8 into our pot of sauce. So there's the first one, and here is the second one. And now we are going to mix it all together. And now we are going to mix the whole sauce together. And once we are done mixing it, we are going to add in our ribs and sausages, and then we are going to let it cook for 2 hours. So now we're going to start adding in all of our sausages and our ribs into our sauce. Remember, they did not have to be fully cooked because they are going to cook while on the pot here. They just have to fry a bit. So this is what it looks like.
Stuff is heavy.
And now we are going to stir everything, because it's very important that the meat does not stick at the bottom. So you have to make sure you stir from the bottom up so you don't break your meat, and that your meat does not stick to the bottom of the pot. Lastly, we are going to wait 2 hours for our sauce to be cooked, and then we are going to start boiling our pasta, and it is ready to be eaten. So now we added in about almost our whole pot is full of water, because we are going to wait for the water to boil, and then we are going to add in our 2 packs of pasta. Now we're going to add in about a whole palm of salt. And then once the water boils, we are going to put the pasta in. Let's not forget that we're still checking on our sauce, and we have to wait for it to continue boiling for another hour or so. Now, since we are a family of 4 people, we are going to add a bag and a half of pasta. And we're going to wait for it to boil, and then once it is done boiling, we are going to add our beautiful sauce to it. Okay, so we continue stirring our sauce once in a while, from time to time, so the meat does not stick to the bottom and it all gets fully cooked. Now we are going to stir the pasta because it is almost cooked. So we are stirring the pasta. Now we are going to drain the pasta. Now that the pasta is done, we're gonna take some of the sauce and make sure we drain it so the tomatoes do not go into the sauce, it's just the sauce itself. So this is what we're doing, we're draining the sauce. Now we're going to stir the pasta to get the sauce all around the pasta, and then we're going to get back to our process of draining the sauce into the pasta. Now that we are done, we're going to put all the pasta into our 4 plates, and then it is ready to be eaten. Here are our 4 plates of pasta, and now we're going to finish it off with drizzling some final sauce onto it, the Italian way. So here we are putting our final sauce onto the pasta. See how it's pasty inside? Because that's what it looks like, and that's why we drain it, so it comes out all saucy. Here is what the final plate should look like: a sausage, a rib, and a veal meatball, sauce, and the pasta. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I hope that you now know how to make Italian pasta sauce, as well as pasta, meatball, rib, and sausage sauce. So buon appetito!
Ciao, semplicemente ciao, difficile trovare